Winnetka Presbyterian Church is the remarkable community of faith that it is because through the years, gifted leaders have stepped up to meet the challenges of the future. Every year, our church elects elders to lead the church and deacons to take care of the people in the church. And this year, again, we're looking for a few good new leaders. I believe that God has set a brilliant future before us, which we can step into if the right leaders and others to help step forward. So here are a few testimonies from those who have already stepped up to assume leadership roles, and they'll share with you the many blessings that come from assuming these roles in our community's life.
I didn't really have a specific role that I knew of in the church before I became a youth deacon, so this was an awesome way for me to kind of integrate myself into the church community and help the youth, because they're all my friends. I love the youth group and working with them. It's awesome. And so I just get to serve them and hang out with them and be with them and also serve the church and the community as well.
So to me, the most exciting part about being on session is getting to know the other people who are there. Because we have a wonderful, wonderful group of elders and deacons and people on committees who are just very committed to the health and welfare of this church. So at the last session meeting I was at, we were actually talking about stewardship. That was the topic for session. And I'm thinking about one comment particularly where the person who's a bit older was talking about how in her generation and the people who came before her, we built the church, we did so much, and now it's your job to keep it going. And truly to me, that's the essence of what stewardship is about. And seeing the faith and love that she had for this church throughout, I don't even know, 30, 40 years was very inspiring to me.
It's been a wonderful experience, and it's helped me to better understand every part of this church. And being on session has been an amazing experience because you really realize how important every facet, every elder, every deacon, how important they are to making this church the most wonderful church that it is. So it's really helped me to better understand our purpose here and why church is so important in our lives. I mean, it's changed my life.
Well, I've been doing this now for 3 years with the kids, and it's meaningful in a sense because I've seen these kids grow up right in front of my eyes, and that's been meaningful to me to see them become the youth that they are and the young adults that they are, and their presence in this church is just amazing.
Well, I think to me the most meaningful thing is putting my faith into action. Through being in leadership in the church, I think that you can't help but grow in your faith. I think that putting your faith into action is actually how God wants us to live in obedience to Him.
Probably the most meaningful thing for a lot of us who are used to working in business organizations or nonprofit organizations, or maybe some of us, I taught at a university for a while, you really realize that in conducting human affairs, there's many different ways to behave, and that particularly in a church setting, ability to listen, ability to work together can be very consistent with your faith walk and very consistent with what Jesus taught us to do. And some of those dissonances you sometimes get in a business setting really aren't there.
If I hadn't been a leader here, I really would have missed out on a lot. It's deepened my faith because of being a leader at this church.
It's awesome. Being a deacon is awesome. I love hanging out with all the other fellow deacons that I have, and it's kind of interesting because I've really gotten to see how the church works.
The way I look at the stewardship elder is through the church, we facilitate the faith. And as stewardship elder, it's my job to facilitate the growth and maintenance of the church.
It is such a joy and a blessing to me when I sit up in the choir and on Sunday morning walking into the sanctuary are so many of these people that I have gotten to know, that I have given support to, that I have worked with, just with various things, even just seeing them in the grocery store or giving them a phone call or sending them a card or whatever it is. They've all touched my heart in some way
There was a time before I became an elder, but I was in a leadership role because I had just got to Winnetka Presbyterian, and they needed volunteers to go on a mission trip to the Appalachian Mountains in Tennessee. This facility we were at, it had where we ate, there was a porch in front of it. We had to go up the stairs. There were rocking chairs there. David was new to the church. I was new to the church. He was reading, and we were rocking in this chair looking at the Smoky Mountains. And I said, this is where I'm supposed to be. So that really started my faith journey in the church.